guys, and welcome to another season of the Sun and Soul podcast. I have so many exciting things to share with you this season, and since this is beginning right in spooky season, I thought we could go in and talk about some spiritual places that have paranormal phenomenon. So the first place that I want to talk about is Appalachia. Appalachia. How do you pronounce it? Because I've been hearing it both ways. I wonder if it depends on where you live. Anyway, did you know that the Appalachian Mountains were originally part of Pangea? So that means that when the continent split, all of the Appalachian Mountains in the Northeast and on the East Coast of the United States run into the same mountain range as Scotland. Isn't that cool? Also, the Appalachian Mountains are older than the rings on Saturn. Yes, so as you can see, this mountain range has been here way before humans have. And I think that there's a lot of unknown energy. I think there's a lot of different places that have different energy vortices. And I think that is what explains a lot of the phenomena, because whenever a human, crosses paths in one of these vortices, we can experience strange phenomenon. Okay, so I want to go ahead and I want to channel some information from Spirit about the Appalachian Mountains. Like, what does Spirit have to say about this mountain range? Is it haunted? Are there weird creatures living there? Should we not visit? Is it okay to go? What happens if someone calls your name? Are you supposed to really pretend like you didn't hear anything? I want to hear what Spirit has to say about this. And it's interesting because I've never channeled messages like this before. I always do like a collective reading, but this is a collective. This is a mountain range. So let's hear what the mountain range has to say. I'm just going to tune into that energy, and I'm going to ask the spirit guides who are in that area to come forward and give us some information on what we need to know. Like it could be anything. My intention is broad, but with one thing in mind, we want to hear about the Appalachian Mountains, okay? I hear everyone talking about stories, but I never hear about people channeling from the spirits that live there. So let's just see what we need to know. Okay, take a deep breath in and a deep breath out, and here we go. Okay, so what came out first? Oh, interestingly enough, the Fool came out. Okay, so with the Fool, the energy that's at that mountain range now is different than it was all those years ago. And I think that some of that has to do with humanity. I think it's like whenever you start building homes, start cutting down trees, start changing the land, of course, the frequency and the land is going to change. Okay. It almost makes me feel like the land is fighting back against what's happened to it. And it makes me feel like, the magic and the beauty of the mountains, it's not quite the same as it was. I keep feeling like something's going to pop out of that mirror. So while I'm doing this, you guys watch that mirror, because I swear I feel some energy in that mirror and I don't know why. Okay, so we have the Knight of Pentacles. Okay. There are healers that live in the mountains. I feel like a lot of people who are born and raised in that mountain range, they're from a natural line of healers, from shamans. And I feel like they've used parts of that land to heal. And it's more than just the plants that grow there. It's like this ancient wisdom in the energy there. So if you're born and raised in those mountains, you probably have that healing frequency within yourself. So I would definitely tap into different healing modalities to see what you're called to. This makes me feel like also way back in the day when, like, before we had cars and people just had to use animals for transportation, I feel like that's when there was a lot of protection going on in the land. I feel like those people were very, very protected for some reason. And I feel like it might have something to do with also the land wasn't being polluted yet. Like whenever we just had horses and stuff, there was a lot less pollution going on in the land. Okay, so we have the Emperor and we have the Four of Pentacles. So with this energy, yeah, it makes me feel like there's ancient wisdom. I just keep getting the same thing, and it's like, male and female. And it's interesting because the Emperor card has to do with the number 4, and then we have the Four of Pentacles. So big emphasis on 4s. And whenever we see repeating 4s, that has to do with angels being present, with angels around you. So I do think that this land is very spiritual, very, very spiritual. Now, here's the deal. As a human with the brain, right, we can feel different energetic frequencies, but our brain, being just a brain, it has to translate that energy, okay? And the brain can't come up with new things. The brain knows what it knows from what it's experienced in life. And whenever it feels that energy, it translates the energy with a connection that it's seen before. Okay? So for some of you guys, you associate the mountains with spooky, with scary. So when you hear something that this energetic blueprint, your brain translates that energy as something scary that you've heard before. Okay, so I feel like a lot of it is actually not as spooky and not as scary as we think. Okay, now it's all about intention as well, and whatever you're vibrating. So if your frequency is vibrating that of, you know, I want something spooky to happen, I'm kind of like putting out this evil energy, then guess what kind of energy you're going to bring back? It's going to be something that matches that frequency. So I'm not saying that it's all good energy, but I'm saying a lot of you who are just minding your business and you just are there and you see something spooky happen, that could be why. Your brain's just translating it. Okay. But I do feel like there's mostly good there. And I feel like there's ancient wisdom. And I feel like there's like a cure there in that mountain range. I feel like there's a cure there. It's a big one too. Like a huge cure. There's something in that mountain range that holds the cure to a huge, huge issue we have. I'm not being told what the issue is, but it's something big, like cancer, that on that level. I don't know if it's like literally that, but it's something big like that. And it could be a bug. It could be some kind of animal. It could be a plant. I don't know. All I am hearing is that there is the answers in that mountain range. And there are ancient spirits protecting that thing for the right person to find it and for the right person to discover it and for the right person to bring its brilliance to humanity. Wow, you guys, I was not expecting that type of message to come through, honestly, but I love it. And I have a whole new respect for that mountain range now. What do you think? What do you think? And also in the comments, I want to hear your spooky tales of those mountains. Like, what have you experienced there? Does anyone else follow that one creator who she talks about how she used to do in-home healthcare, and she goes around, and she doesn't do it anymore, but she goes to these different homes that are in Appalachia off the beaten trail, and they were so off the beaten trail that she had to just use like a compass and a map to find it. She couldn't even use like her car GPS because there was no service in these areas. And she'd always have like these experiences. Anyway, she shares them on social media and her stories are so cool. I love going on a deep dive, hearing her stories, but tell me your story. Do you have something that you've experienced in this mountain range, or do you know someone that has had something happen in these mountain ranges? Also, what do you think about this channeled message? Does it make sense? What cure do you think is waiting in that mountain range? And if you can pick up on energy and you can feel something, have you felt this as well? And what do you think it is? Do you think it's a plant, a bug, an animal? What do you think it is? And what year do you think it's going to come about? Because I feel like it's going to be a while. I don't know if we're going to see it in our lifetime, but we might. I'm feeling some energy there. It's just the right person has to discover it. And I feel like it's going to change humanity. Let me know what you guys think. And also put in the comments what you want to hear for next week's episode. What do you want me to talk about? What do you want me to channel? Let me know. Make sure to follow, make sure to subscribe, and I will see you guys next time. Bye.